Ladies, if there's a lady out there, I ask the question, how is my audio? Hey, I know Jerry is on his own live stream. Probably. Oh, low. Okay, thank you, Jerry. I thought you were on your own live stream. I can turn up the volume. All right, Jerry, tell me that better. But you can read lips, Jerry. You can read lips. Oh, you. That louder. Is it loud enough, John? It's still kind of low. I definitely have room to raise the volume a little more. Okay. Taking that from more, it means you want me to louder still. I have pretty much maxed out the volume control here. Now you have to tell me. And none of the feedback and the other issues that were affecting my audio pre. That's the. Yeah, I can't make it get any louder than that. I don't. 9%. All right, thank you, Lee. I appreciate that feedback. Not going to let this go on. I tend to let these quote unquote tests go on a long time. Hello, Thomas. We're just here for a couple of minutes to test audio. I actually was getting into my truck and I said, if you're serious about your social media presence, you need to get back in there and run your test on your audio, like you said you were going to do on Wednesday. But the fact that I've been very distracted. Power has been out at my house. Street lights are out all over Pittsburgh. It's chaos. Trees down. When I tried to get home last night, I went home 5 different routes. Fifth one, I finally got through, and I was out of options. I do not think I was going to come back to the shop, and fortunately, I have a bunch of camping gear here, so I could. But so it's been chaos. So this morning I was up early, of course, go to bed early with no lights. So I was up early with the sun, went out, got ice, went back to the, came down here to the shop in my wife's car because my truck was almost out of gas and there were no gas stations operating last night because there was no power. And so I came down here with my wife's car, got my cooler, got ice, back to the house, unloaded what I could out of the freezers into 2 coolers. Came back here in my truck. I filled her car with gas, and there were a couple of gas stations now open, and I had to buy ice for a gas station. So I brought my truck back, filled my truck up, and I'm just pretty much exhausted. Although I ate pretty well at lunch, one of the things that was in the freezer that I knew would thaw out was a steak. So I had a nice steak and green beans, uh, buttery rolls that were in the freezer. So it was kind of a crazy day. So I was getting back in my truck to go home because I've gotten a message from the power company indicating the power's back on. So I'm hopeful that that's true, but of course it means I'm going to have to unpack the coolers, figure out what's too thawed out to go back. Um, so yeah, it was just one storm, Jerry, but it knocked trees down everywhere. And when I got to my little neighborhood of 12 uh, townhomes, I had to squeeze between a felled tree to get into my garage. I mean, there were, I think there were 8 trees down in our little neighborhood. Less than a, probably maybe 2 acres. Big trees, big root balls exposed. Was oh, that's a good idea, Thomas. One, it doesn't surprise me that you have a system. I have a little battery backup box, to power a laptop or something like that. But yeah, I might end up going for a generator system. I'm going to work on the community. I think the whole, at least our 12 units, we're part of a much bigger association, 100 units. What can we invest in as a group to get this resolved? This is the second time that this happened. The last time power was out for 3 days, I think. It was pretty bad. Um, James, how are you doing? Yes, I was not wearing my hat until you wore my hat, and you wore my hat. Thank you for that. I must say, it fit you better than it fits me. I've got a very big noggin, 7 3/4, I think is my size, and so this barely fits. But I was sharing a little bit of my storm woes. Uh, so trees down everywhere. That's why I couldn't get back to the house last night because for a long time because trees were blocking every route. The last time this happened, I swore to myself I was going to one, get a chainsaw, and two, I was going to get a winch on my truck. I did neither. But there were definitely some trees down, cops around, one tree laying in the road. Shoot. I don't know whether they'd let me do it, but it would be easy enough to winch that out of the way, right? Um, so it's pretty sad that the populace here doesn't have the ability to. I would think there'd be enough guys with chainsaws in their trucks who jump out and get. Okay, deep run. I hear you. That was terrible. I know. I've got one bad ear, but I understand the value of audio. And that audio, I don't know what's going on. That particular microphone, this microphone is a really high, I'm not using it now, is a really high end microphone. And it works phenomenally when I'm doing voiceovers with Audacity or something like that. And I don't know why it doesn't work in this application, but it does not work with Live at all. So I've switched over to microphone on my webcam at Dave, EB Tech Dave's advice. That has worked out very well. So I will use. Um, so thank you for patience with that. When you watch videos about how to make YouTube, one of the things they stress is that audio is as important as video, and I F that up big time. Sorry about that. So, if there really is a demand for the bucket hat, I've got to tell you, this looks pretty good on camera, but it's not very well printed. I'm really not happy with it. But I will do a short and post a link if you want to go buy one. It's from one of these print on demand places, Redbubble, possibly, maybe Society6. Those I use. Yes, Thomas, that is foam for the layout. As I've described, I think in some other videos, I have the workshop that I'm preparing for myself was previously a beer cooler. This building was previously a beer distributor, and they turned the former machine shop into a beer cooler, and they lined it with 2 layers of this foam. I guess it's 2-inch foam. I need to measure it, and I had a guy tear that out before I went down to meet my grandson. Um, Thanks, Lee. Appreciate it. Thanks for jumping on. And so I saved some of this foam. This is about half of the foam that I saved. I got another stack in the back of the. So yes, that will be used on the layout. Meanwhile, in the workshop, which is down that way, um, black mold was black mold growing in there. The guy who tore the insulation off found that. So yesterday I sprayed that with bleach. Now the whole place smells like bleach, but the mold appears to be gone. But there's enough softness in that wall that I'm gonna re sheetrock the entire wall, which I think is pretty much overkill. But I will do it. I've got to remove a vent fan there that was probably what caused the mold problem in the and so yeah, so I'm in that process. I made a run to the dump yesterday with my truck full of foam. I filled up the dumpster, pay for a commercial dumpster here. It's not very big. I filled that up twice with broken pieces of foam, and there's still foam in the room. And so I've got a ton of foam. So, but tomorrow I'm going to make another run to the dump, 30 minutes each way, $30 to drop it, but that's less than having a special pickup of the dump. So I I don't know if it was black mold or not, Thomas. It was black in color, but the pattern of it did not look like black mold to me. I did check that out online, and so while it was black in color, I don't know that it was the really bad stuff. But I didn't take any chances. I had goggles sealing my eyes. I had an N100 mask. I was completely covered from head to toe. Uh, and all those clothes that I wore when I did the remediation are in a plastic bag waiting to be washed. I couldn't wash them yesterday because the power was out. They're sealed in a plastic bag in my truck. So I took it pretty seriously. Sprayed the floor in that area, sprayed the wall twice with chlorine solution. No sign of mold on the wall now at all. But nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and tear out the wall and just to be sure. The place is cinder block wall. It is insulated with foam board, green foam. So I don't think the walls are very conducive to harboring mold. I think it was trapped. I think foam board and the paint. So, but I could discover more mold when I pull the wall board down. But I will. I will do. It was pretty irritating, that mold. Not really, but I could feel it in my eyes. So I do not feel that anymore. Wait, and I've been airing out. That room has had no airflow in it for since 2008 when it was into. Uh, I've been running fresh air through now to dry it out. I have done. I'm taking it pretty seriously, but I'm not going to take. Now, this shirt I'm wearing is blurry text. Not think that that is a problem with my camera. It's an inside joke. If you are a photographer, you know about bokeh. Bokeh is blurriness. Japanese word for blurry is bokeh. And there's a guy on YouTube, very popular, Tony Northrup. It loves bokeh. And so another YouTuber who's very funny and sarcastic did this Tone to mock him about his fascination with bokeh. Long story, I'll tell you. Sorry about that. Is Mike signing off? Okay. I'm going to end this stream. I thank you all. I've gone on enough here. I thank you all for your feedback about this. I'll see you on some live streams later tonight. Now that I have, yeah, I know, Thomas. It's pretty serious stuff. Uh, it was limited to an area. The EPA says you can treat it yourself as long as it's no more than uh, 10 square feet. I would say this was probably twice that, but I still don't feel like I'm way out there fringe by doing at any rate. Okay. Thank you all. I'm going to end the stream. Thank you all so much for your feedback, and I'm glad this works. I may run another test with a remote mic, but for now, I know this works well and what the settings need to be. So thanks, everybody. I'll see you out there in the chats.